whatever your field, you need patience, you need perseverance, you need grit and determination. Okay, I'm Dr. Hazel Roddam. I worked in the NHS for 25 years as a clinical speech and language therapist, and then 13 years ago I moved to work in a research post at a university, but these don't seem like two separate careers. Throughout my whole working life, these two aspects have been integrated seamlessly. So when I was a clinical therapist, I was constantly asking questions. Is this the best way to do it? What could I do differently? What are other people doing? I wanted to improve the service. And then when I moved into the research role, I'm working all the time with clinicians and services, clinical teams, helping them to do the same. So when people ask about my career, I've done a lot of different things, but always driven by the same purpose, to improve the way we work for the children, the families that we work with, and to help the people who are actually delivering services and will deliver services into the future. Yeah, I faced a very big challenge. At the time when I'd completed my master's and then my doctorate while I was working in clinical practice, I really wanted to carry on being active in clinical research. But at that time, clinical academic research wasn't talked about. It really wasn't a route that people could choose. And I faced a battle to be able to know how I was going to continue with my career, which direction should I go in. And I didn't have a lot of advice. I had to find my own way, make my own destiny. And I'm very pleased that I was able to get some support, to move into a university research group that allowed me to continue to work very closely with clinical teams and services. But it wasn't easy because no one else had done that. I can remember I asked for help from quite a lot of people at that stage in my career, and they wanted to talk about their own stories, what they'd done and how their careers had moved forward. But I found it really difficult because I felt they weren't listening to what I wanted to say and the challenges that I was facing. I think mostly about the lady Betty Byers-Brown, who was the head of the speech therapy course where I trained in Manchester. The thing she did for me was to open my eyes to the worldwide community. So my profession wasn't just in UK, it wasn't just in Manchester, it was worldwide. And that set my appetite and my interest in wanting to know how speech therapists worked in other countries. And so that led on to my international connections that I've been able to follow and put people in touch with each other. To share this knowledge about how we work in different countries and different organisations, different healthcare services around the world, and the things that we all share deeply in common. When I think about what's made me really happy in my career, it is remembering some of the children and families who I've worked with over the years, right back to when I first started and when I was on clinical placements as a student. It's why I did my clinical career, and it's why I'm still doing this research career, to see what we can do to make individuals as effective and independent as possible in their communication, in their own world, in their own life. And that's what makes me happy, that's what makes me laugh when I think about being taken by surprise by these individuals who just exceed all our expectations. But it's because we were able to work together and get them started at the time that they needed it. All along, and when I look around now, is the wasted potential. I see clinicians in particular who've got such expertise, such a wealth of experience and such a passion for improving services. They want to go on to undertake service evaluations, quality improvement initiatives and research in their own clinical world. But they're blocked by the system. There isn't enough support for people to be able to do this. And that's one of the reasons that keeps me trying to mentor and help to influence and support people to be able to stay in their own clinical context that they know well, but to improve the way that services are delivered so that it improves the experience for the patients, the service users and their families. There's one name straight away that I always think about, and that's Joanne Fillingham. Now, Joanne Fillingham is a speech and language therapist. She's currently working as the Director of Allied Health Professions for NHS Improvement. Joanne is so full of energy, dynamism, creativity. She's a very high achiever with a lot of stamina. But she's very caring, conscientious about the smallest detail, and she's so generous in helping other people. And she doesn't just give advice, but she actually works side by side with you to get you started and to continue to give advice until she feels that you're ready to be able to continue on your own. So Joanne in particular helped to support me to move one of my research initiatives, which was called ResNet, Research Support Network, to move it out into an international sphere through Twitter. Well, I'm really proud of this online research support network community that has been going now for several years and is just growing in strength year after year. We have a lot of international connections, and that's bringing together people at grassroots clinical practice in a wide range of disciplines and fields with people who are serious academics and strategic influencers. And through this online network, it's a completely open playing field, and we're supporting people to have conversations with each other that they never would have had otherwise. I hope, my ambition is that this will continue. You have to be driven. You have to know why you're doing it and have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, but you need help. You can't do this on your own, and you shouldn't have to. Find out who can be your friends, who can you get in touch with. There are many people who can help you to network and make connections that are going to help you in your career. But it's very confusing. It's not easy to find the signposts to know who are the best people to talk to. So just start. Try talking to people. Find out who in your organisation you might be able to find who has followed this type of pathway for clinical academic research activity. Have a look at other organisations online as well. Our Research Support Network and CAHPR, the Council for Allied Health Professions Research. That's what we're there for, to help people get started and then signpost you on to people who can help you further down the line as your career develops. What I do say to people is you don't need to have a PhD to be research active or to improve services where you work. If you want to have a PhD because that's your career path and your target is one thing, that's great, and people will help you with that. But you don't have to have a PhD to be research active. You need research skills, and you need people to mentor you and work with you to develop those projects so that you can have a systematic and robust way to measure what you're doing. When I'm mentoring, particularly women, I try to listen. I think it's really important that people don't start to give advice until you've listened to find out what are the circumstances, what are the challenges that this individual is experiencing and saying to me. I can relate to women because that was my experience. Working full-time, bringing up a family, just having a busy life and trying to study at the same time as working full-time. These are the things that are my experience and that I know many other women are also trying to achieve. But I think the most important thing is that I want to listen and see what help do they need and to give advice which is realistic, practical, and probably one step at a time, and then to be there, be close by until they don't need me anymore. I think we are so modest. We need to be proud of what we've done, and we need to maximise visibility, not only to share the findings of what we've done in research that will improve services and the way services are delivered in the future, but to maximise the visibility and the reputation of what we can achieve as women in healthcare research. Social media is free, immediate, it's really, really effective in just letting people know about what you're doing and finding out what they are doing, making connections with people that you wouldn't otherwise know about, and then starting new collaborations and working together. Twitter's the fashion at the moment. I don't know what it will be in the next few years. It might be something different, and I don't know what it's called. But I would say to everybody, we need to use and harness whatever technology, whatever platforms are available to get noticed. We're too shy. We set high standards for ourselves, and I don't think we're always happy that we've achieved everything we wanted to, but that means we overlook and we miss the chance to tell people what we have done. So I would encourage everyone else, don't be so modest, tell people what you're doing.